So, very good evening, friends. Today we'll discuss the liquidation process regulations. Some of the regulations we discussed yesterday, along with sections up to section 42. Appointment of professionals. So, this appointment of professionals also has to be at an arm's length, and it should be for a reasonable remuneration. And there are certain disqualifications as to who cannot be appointed as a professional. He should not be a relative of the liquidator. He should not be a related party of the CD. He should not have been an auditor to the corporator in the 5 years preceding the liquidation commencement date. And if he has got any pecuniary or personal relationship with any of the stakeholders or the concerned corporator, he has to disclose it. Then consultation with the stakeholders. So the stakeholders, they shall also extend all assistance. We have already covered these points. Personnel to extend cooperation to the liquidator. The point here was is or has been an officer. So even a past officer or a past auditor, past employee, past promoter, partner is obliged to extend cooperation to the liquidator. Then disclaim, yes, we were here. But before making an application under section 19(2), the liquidator has to ensure that he has made reasonable efforts to obtain the information from such person and failed to obtain it. Now, regulation number 10. Regulation number 10, we were here. Regulation number 10 talks of disclaimer of onerous property. What it says, where any property of the corporator consists of land of any tenure burdened with onerous covenants. So if there is any onerous property is a property in which the obligations are more than the likely realization. So if there is any land of any tenure which is burdened with onerous covenants, shares or stocks in companies where you have to pay more and the value is nil, any other property which is not saleable or is not readily saleable by reason of the possessor thereof being bound either to the performance of any onerous act or for the payment of any sum of money, or unprofitable contracts. You have executed a project, you have mobilized material, but now the cost of removal is more than the likely scrap value. So in such cases where the likely realization is less and the obligations are more, the liquidator may, notwithstanding that he has endeavored to sell it or has taken possession of the property or exercised any act of ownership in relation thereto or done anything in pursuance of the contract, make an application to the adjudicating authority within 6 months from the liquidation commencement date or such extended period as may be allowed by the adjudicating authority to disclaim the property or contract. So any such property which is basically unprofitable in nature. Okay. So the liquidator can make an application to the adjudicating authority within 6 months from the liquidation commencement date or such extended period as may be allowed by the adjudicating authority to disclaim the onerous property or contract. Because all these properties, they are appearing on the asset side of the balance sheet. And if you want to disclaim them, first you made efforts to sell them, but then it was not saleable. And you suppose there is a land, but the revenue tax is more than the likely realization. Or there are shares in companies, they are no more being listed in the stock exchange, or the value is just 1 rupee or 2 rupees, but the money to be paid is more. So in all such cases, the liquidator will make an application to the adjudicating authority to disclaim. The liquidator shall not make an application. Now, what are the circumstances in which the liquidator cannot make the application? Number 1, if a person interested in the property or contract inquired in writing whether he will make an application to have such property disclaimed, and he did not communicate his intention to do so within 1 month from receipt of such inquiry.